Tonight, Troy students find out if natural talent is overrated.
Plus, the city of Troy welcomed the Christmas season. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for November 29, 2011. I'm Yasmin Hill.
And I'm Courtney Steele. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, the weather outside was a little bit frightful, but the spirit of the people at the Troy Christmas Parade was still delightful. Citizens throughout the community came to enjoy the lights and floats, as well as gather to light the city Christmas tree. I was there to capture the Christmas joy. Temperatures Monday night may have dropped, but the spirits of the people in the Troy community were at an all-time high as they welcomed in the Christmas season with the annual Christmas Parade.
Well, such the enthusiasm in the community, you can feel the Christmas spirit coming around, you can feel people thinking about the wonderful things that's going to happen through the next season. Hopefully everyone will have a very happy New Year as well as a Merry Christmas.
There were all sorts of special guests in this year's parade. There was a singing Christmas tree, the gingerbread man, of course Santa Claus, and even sweet baby Jesus was in the parade. There were floats and people that represented countries all around the world contributing to the success of this year's parade.
We had the biggest parade ever. There was 100 units. The competition between our departments was very strong again, but it was good. A lot of different organizations represented, so it was a good parade.
This year's theme was Jesus is the reason for the season. And while the downtown square provided a cozy atmosphere to spread that story, there was also another reason to have it at this location.
Well, we do so many things in Troy. We have so many functions, so many activities, and the way we're able to do that is because of the money that comes in from shopping. So we encourage people to shop here downtown Troy, to shop out on the bypass, to shop anywhere, just spend the money in Troy.
2, 1, woo!
Following the parade, there was a tree lighting ceremony that was a little bit different than those in the past.
We have numerous trees and do a separate theme with each and every one of them. So there'll be people reading stories, there'll be people doing things with each of the trees. So as you meander through the square, you'll have an opportunity to enjoy lots of Christmas trees, not just the one big one.
Although it was cold, even the youngest spectators bundled up to see their favorite part of the parade.
Watching people go by, and I like going and seeing the parade because I think it's really fun.
If you're still in the Christmas spirit, the Troy University Concert Chorale will have its Christmas concert tonight at 7:30 in the sanctuary of Park Memorial United Methodist Church here in Troy.
Whether or not natural talent is necessary to succeed has been a question on the minds of some Troy students and faculty, as the question was the main point in the College of Communication and Fine Arts Common Reader this semester. As Bree Sanders shows us, students had a chance to get the answers from the man who wrote the book on the subject.
All semester, communication and fine arts students have been studying the book Talent is Overrated by Jeff Colvin. Tuesday afternoon, students got the chance to hear from the author himself through a teleconference panel discussion with Troy University faculty members. Moderator of the discussion, journalism professor Doc Kirby, says this book piqued the interest of the CCFA faculty since many deal primarily with honing talents.
Our initial thing was defensive. What do you mean talent's overrated? What do you mean? Isn't talent what we're all about? And the point that you get from reading the book is, well, yes, talent is there, but talent without hard, deliberate practice is unfocused and never develops.
Colvin says in his book, talent is an inborn ability to do something very specific very well, but you have to put in so many hours to be good at what you do. Something Kirby feels is true based on his past experiences.
There are lots and lots of people who have talent. And I've known, being a musician myself, being in plays and so forth, I've known tons of people who are talented who don't do anything with it anymore because it was too much work. And they enjoyed it for a time, or they thought it was worth a certain amount of effort, but it wasn't worth that much effort. And then there are those that go on to fame and fortune, and they're the ones that dedicate themselves so completely to it that they're willing to sacrifice in order to achieve that world-class proficiency.
Kirby adds that even for people who have natural talent, success is not certain, and students should know that the old saying, practice makes perfect, still applies.
The idea that there certainly are people who have more innate ability than others. That does not mean that they will automatically be more successful with their skill, because if they don't develop it, it won't matter how innate their talent is.
And maybe after Tuesday's discussion, Troy students can determine for themselves whether or not talent is overrated. Bree Sanders, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This was the last event planned for the CCFA Common Reader this semester. The Sisters of Sigma Gamma Rho have a week's worth of activities planned to highlight their sorority.
But last night, their focus shifted to all fraternities and sororities on campus as they held a forum to promote unity among Greeks. Deatra Montgomery has the story.
Sigma Gamma Rho sorority held a Greek forum of Q&As Monday night in the Math and Science building for any student who had questions or concerns about what Greek life is about.
Basically get members of MPHC and other people that are non-Greek, get them to come together and discuss some topics and misconceptions that are associated with Troy MPHC system.
The Greek organizations hope that the non-Greeks that attended would not see them as stereotypical and see that they do believe in individuality.
Everyone is different in their own way. You can't make someone think the way that you think, and also stereotypes are just stereotypes.
Different Greek organizations came out to support one another as well as learn more about unity.
Come out to support the other Greeks, SGROs, and to learn something more about Greek unity.
The hosting sorority was pleased with the turnout of the forum and hopes all received a better understanding of what it means to be a Greek.
The main gist of the meeting was, no matter what, we're all Greek together, and that the hot topics in the Greek world, I hope they came out with like a better understanding and some sense of unity. I think the turnout was pretty good. We got a lot of feedback from non-Greeks and Greeks, and we just hope that this better helps us in the future.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Tomorrow night, Sigma Gamma Rho will hold a Golden Mike talent show at 7 in the Trojan Center.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, a federal judge rules that former Alabama Governor Bob Riley could have relevant testimony to offer in the retrial of Alabama's gambling corruption case. Attorneys for Victoryland casino owner Milton McGregor has issued subpoenas to Riley and his former public safety director Chris Murphy.
The Alabama Supreme Court has put a hold on the settlement in the litigation over Alabama's financially troubled prepaid affordable college tuition plan. That's because some parents have objected to the settlement.
The military is realigning the workforce at the Anniston Army Depot since its massive incinerator has destroyed all the chemical weapons that were stored there for decades. Officials say some workers are shifting to new positions and others could lose their jobs as the incinerator moves to a decommissioning phase.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the men's basketball teams return to Sartain Hall tonight. Tiffany Lester will be in with the details in sports.
But first, Herman Cain denies he ever cheated on his wife with a Georgia businesswoman. We will have more of that story after the break.
Coming up, I'm Tara Merchant at the White House. Coming up, allegations of an affair have Herman Cain reevaluating his strategy.
Massive earthquake has rocked the city. Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
Over the course of time, Troy has consistently turned out quality graduates.
We're trying to develop future leaders.
If it had not been for Troy University, I would have never had the honor of being the Alabama Teacher of the Year.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And we do that within the framework of one real university.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Herman Cain is rethinking his campaign strategy in the wake of new allegations. This time, an Atlanta woman claims the two had a 13-year affair.
Cain has already been slipping in the polls, and he's running out of time to bounce back before the Iowa caucuses. Tara Mergener reports from the White House.
Herman Cain's trying to assess whether an accusation about an extramarital affair will drive supporters away. Atlanta businesswoman Ginger White says she had a 13-year relationship with a candidate that ended just before he started his campaign. Hours before her story aired on an Atlanta TV station, Cain was already denying the allegation.
I have nothing to hide. I have done nothing wrong.
On a conference call Tuesday, Cain told staffers the allegations from White and other women have taken a toll on his family. He was leading national polls until the first accusations surfaced in late October. Since then, he slipped from 30% to around 13%. Fellow candidate Newt Gingrich told CBS News this doesn't mean Cain's out of the race.
I was supposed to be dead in June and July. I am not going to go around and declare anybody else dead. I think any candidate has the right to try to recover.
As Cain's support slips, Gingrich is gaining ground. The former House Speaker is leading most of the national polls. Gingrich is on a 3-day campaign swing through South Carolina. He's fighting hard to show voters he's the Republican Party's best choice to challenge the current president next November.
My primary opponent is President Obama.
He said he's not the perfect candidate, but insists he's more conservative than his rival Mitt Romney and more electable than the rest of the Republican field. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
Now Tiffany Lester joins us with sports.
Well, Tiffany, I know the football team didn't get the results they were expecting this past weekend, but the basketball team is having a home game.
That's right. Hopefully they'll get a win, and the football team, they'll get another chance this weekend to redeem themselves, but I'll get into those basketball news right now. The Troy men's basketball team is coming off its first road win of the year, rallying from 8 points down in the second half to knock off the Southern Utah Thunderbirds 80-76 on Saturday night. Troy had 4 players in double figures, including junior guard Will Weathers, who scored 20 of his 22 points in the second half in the Trojans' first win over a non-conference opponents on the road since December 4th, 2009. In the first of 2 straight home games, the Trojans will be facing a familiar foe tonight as they play the East Tennessee State Buccaneers. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. at Sartain Hall. Troy women's basketball team struggled again in the Dead River Company Classic on Saturday when they fell to Evansville 59-49. The Trojans fell into foul trouble early as 7 different Trojans picked up personal fouls, including Aiva Nagy and Rosie Hines, who each received 2 in the first half. Troy still struggled to overcome the turnover deficit that continues to haunt them. Troy committed 22 turnovers to the Acres and gave up a total of 18 points on turnovers. Tania Emanuel recorded 18 points, and this was enough to project her onto the Dead River Company Classic All-Tournament team. The Trojans will travel to Auburn to take on the Tigers Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And to say that the Trojan football team has struggled this season could be considered an understatement. With only 2 wins on the season, the Trojans are looking at one of their worst seasons in a long time. Youth and injuries are considered 2 of the biggest factors in their struggles, and on Saturday the defense took a big hit in the injury department. Troy linebacker Kenoris Davis' season ended during the 3rd quarter in Saturday's matchup against Western Kentucky. He suffered a dislocated ankle after making a stop against Hilltopper tight end Jack Doyle. The injury makes an already injury-depleted team hurt even more going into the last game of the season. Davis's fellow players on the D know his presence will be missed in the next game.
He's definitely one of our leaders, inspiration. I mean, he talks to us halftime before the games. I mean, he's definitely a big boost in our defense. So, I mean, losing him is going to hurt, but I know guys are going to rally around us and come play. Everybody loves him and understands the kind of guy he is, and they're willing to do anything for him. So I think that, I mean, right before this game, I'm sure he'll say something to us and he'll motivate us to go out and play hard for him.
The remaining Trojans will take the field for the last time this season against the top team in the Sun Belt, the Arkansas State Red Wolves, this Saturday in Jonesboro. Kickoff is set for 3:30. So while last week the football team didn't have that great of luck, the basketball team did. The men's basketball team did, whereas the women's didn't. But we're hoping that tonight the men's basketball team will get a win, and the women's team on Wednesday, hopefully they can go beat the Tigers and get another win.
Definitely. All we need is some W's. Thank you,
yes,
Tiffany.
Thank you.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, a judge has sentenced Conrad Murray. Find out the outcome when we come back.
Plus, after having a beautiful Thanksgiving break, this week has us breaking out the gloves and scarves. Will the temperatures continue to drop, Derica?
Temperature will rise a little, but we still will be feeling those fall temps. I will have more later in weather.
At the heart of what we do in the College of Business is care for the student.
It's a personal thing with the students. We feel like the students are our most important asset, our most important products.
I have never been anywhere where I've known so many students on first name basis. They stop by socially to talk to.
So we understand who our students are, and we're trying to help them be better in their areas of professional work.
My colleagues and I work together to create programs that our students need.
What we try to do at Troy University is provide an experience to students that not only provide the curriculum that allows them to be successful in the business world, but we also try to expand their horizons to reach greater opportunities that maybe they didn't think they were capable of before.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
A judge sentenced Dr. Conrad Murray to the maximum 4 years in prison in the death of Michael Jackson.
During sentencing, the judge said Murray was a disgrace to the medical profession. Bigad Shaban reports from Los Angeles.
Sheriff's deputies escorted Michael Jackson's personal physician out of the courtroom and back to jail after a judge sentenced him to the maximum punishment for involuntary manslaughter.
He has absolutely no sense of remorse, absolutely no sense of fault, and is and remains dangerous.
Judge Michael Pastor sentenced Dr. Conrad Murray to 4 years in prison, just as prosecutors requested.
The defendant was playing Russian roulette with Michael Jackson's life every single night.
Jackson's mother and several of his siblings, including LaToya and Jermaine, attended the sentencing. Jackson's children did not.
You can't bring Michael back, he's gone.
We'll never be satisfied because Michael's not coming back.
In court, the Jackson family asked for the maximum sentence. An attorney read a statement on their behalf.
We are not here to seek revenge. There is nothing you can do today that will bring Michael back.
Prosecutors blamed Murray for giving the surgical anesthetic propofol to Jackson and failing to monitor him. Murray's defense wanted probation, arguing that Murray should be judged for his entire life, not just the 2 months he treated Jackson.
On probation, he can do things for the community. On probation that he could never do sitting in that little room.
Sheriff officials say because of overcrowding, Murray will likely serve a little less than 2 years behind bars. Before leaving court, the doctor blew someone a kiss. Bigad Shaban, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And now Derica James joins us with a look at our weather.
So Derica, it's finally cold. I'm so excited. I don't know about you, but I'm loving this weather. Are the temperatures going to stay?
Well, the temperatures are going to get a little bit higher, but it's no more summer temperatures, just fall. But I'll get into that later. First, let's look at our campus snapshot. As you can see, it's nice, beautiful, and dark outside. The temperature, the sun has gone down for the day, but it's looking beautiful. And as we go into our current conditions, we see the skies are overcast. Temperature coming at 44 degrees, dew point at 33 degrees, humidity at 65%, barometers at 30.02 inches, and steady with winds coming from the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Today's statistics high of 50, low of 31. There was no rain. Sunrise at 6:24 a.m. and the sun set at 4:40 p.m. As we look around the state, we see we have mostly low temperatures across the state of Alabama. Nothing really out of the 50-degree range. So as we look at current temperatures across the southeast, as you can see, those temperatures are staying consistent across the southeast, mostly 30s, high 30s to mid 50s. But as you can see in Florida, they're still experiencing that summer degree weather. But as we look at temperatures across the United States, we see mostly 40s and 50s throughout the United States. Just Texas and Florida and some parts over here in the Southwest are still experiencing summer temperatures. As we look at the departure from normal, we see that we are actually experiencing some very cold temperatures from normal for this time period for our area. And as we go into current service, there's not much going on, just a lot of high pressure systems. But as you can see, our area is pretty clear with light winds. And as we go into precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, as you can see, we should remain clear. But a lot of places, especially over in the west, are actually going to be seeing some snow over the next 48 hours. But we should remain clear of that. As we look at Wednesday, we see that we're going to remain clear. Still snow here and there over some areas of the United States. And as we go into Thursday, we still should remain clear. Just about all of the southeast should remain clear. And also on Friday, we should remain clear. Saturday, we should remain clear too, bringing us a beautiful weekend. And as we go into tonight's forecast, it's going to be partly cloudy with a decrease in the cloudiness over the night, with winds coming from the northwest at 8 miles per hour with a low of 34. Then for tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be sunny skies, 20% chance of rain. Winds come from the northwest at 9 miles per hour with a high of 55. So it's going to be cool, but not as cold as it was today. And as you look at the class outlook all day, you're going to need a sturdy jacket, and you're going to basically need to stay inside. At 1, it's going to be 52, but you still want to take that hot cocoa break and go to the workout facility, not go for a walk around campus. And as we look at our 4-day forecast, you can see it's going to be sunny for the rest of the week going into the weekend. Nice temperature, cool temperatures. Those fall temperatures getting no more to the mid-60s, and at night we're going to be experiencing some very cool weather, not getting over the mid-30s. So as you can see, Yasmin, it's going to be a nice fall week, not winter yet.
Okay, we'll prepare for that. Thank you, Derica.
Thank you.
Thank you.